Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
With Rebel News, my name's David Menzies, and just going to see if we could get a room for the night.
No, sorry.
No?
No, whole place is closed.
Why is it closed?
It's closed for construction.
Closed for construction? I see people in the windows. Ma'am, these don't look like construction workers to me. We're being told by somebody called Jamie with no identification that we're trespassing on the property and we're leaving. He said it's under construction, but I see people in the rooms and they're not wearing hard hats. Do you think we're being told the truth?
Officially, they call them government quarantine facilities. What I call it is a prison for healthy people that they want to make as miserable as possible. So when they leave here, they tell everybody about how horrible their experience was, so nobody else wants to travel and leave the country. In Canada, in Toronto, Pearson Airport, they're going to give you your standard COVID questions. Then they're going to tell you, now you have to take the test. And if you say no, they say, you have to spend your 14 days over here. Now, why would they lie to the public and say, oh, it's just under construction? Because they don't want the masses to know that they're literally taking people, throwing them in basically a prison cell. You're in that hotel room, your window does not open. You are not allowed to leave your room for any reason. They open your door only 5 times a day. 3 times to bring you food, which is a meal from the Red Cross delivered in a U-Haul truck, and then another 2 times so they could point something at your forehead like a gun and take your temperature.
Clearly, they're not being truthful when they tell us this hotel's under construction. I see no construction workers. I see no heavy equipment. And so are they telling the people or insinuating to people that you must remain here when in fact they have no legal right to detain you here?
Of course they are. Everything they're doing is about obtaining your consent illegally. You're not allowed any access to the outside world, no exercise. It's literally the exact same as a prisoner getting solitary confinement.
Well, folks, we were actually able to track down Duray. He also goes by the name Many Lights on Instagram. And he is the individual who, along with his father, returned to Canada from Jamaica and had to, deal with the ordeal of staying at that Radisson Hotel near the airport, albeit briefly. Can you tell us what it was like staying at that Radisson Hotel, which apparently isn't really a Radisson Hotel anymore, after all?
It's an odd experience. It's something that you see when you watch a movie. So straight from the airport, they tell you to get on the bus. So it's a yellow school bus. We get on the school bus, and it was just me and my dad at the time. And they packed up our stuff in the back and drove us straight to the Radisson. So we go inside, and they drive us to the side of the building where there's this giant tent just mounted off the side of the building. Giant white tent. So we're waiting inside the bus. He says, wait a bit, because I guess they know we're coming. Maybe the security guard pages whoever is inside. And then we walk through a corridor, which would probably be the hotel before, but everything is plastered in white plastic. Like, I'm telling you, like, the ceiling is covered, the floor is covered, the walls are covered, everything's covered in white plastic.
Typically, not your typical hotel kind of environment, I guess. And so you're led through this very white area, I guess, eventually to a room. And can you describe what the room was like, DeRay?
Well, we didn't even get to the room first. First, they take us to a desk.
Okay.
Where there's another lady sitting there, and they question us first. And they want to take our temperature and point that gun-like thermometer at our foreheads. And then they start asking questions. Do you have any dietary restrictions? And I'm strict vegan, and I'm mostly a raw vegan, so I'm very specific with how I eat, because she had mentioned that you won't be able to get your own food.
And why was that? I'm just wondering what the ostensible policy reason was for that. But they said, I think you told me off camera, DeRay, that it was the Red Cross bringing in meals. Yes. And I understand the so-called vegan meal they brought in from you was a bit of a joke.
Yeah, it was. They said, do not open your door for any reason. don't open your door, don't go into the hallway.
And of course, one of the people you reached out to was Chris Sky, and he came up with a little caper where I guess he was going to break you out of the hotel and have a getaway car in the form of an Uber pick you and your father up, and you were able to leave. And I understand you were told not to leave, but they didn't have any kind of legal right. They didn't physically restrain you. You got into that Uber. You went back to your Toronto condo.
I got up in the morning and I was doing my research. My friend had texted me, Catherine, and she said, hey. And then I just gave her a call. And I said, hey, Catherine. And I told her the situation. I'm in this quarantine camp. And she started tripping out. She's like, what do you mean? And she said, that's not right. And I said, I know, I'm just trying to figure out my laws. Do you know anyone I could talk to? Any social media outlets that I could go on and talk to? And she named off Chris Sky, and she named off Rebel News.
Oh.
You too.
And I've heard of people breaking out of prison before, DeRay, but I've never heard of people breaking out of a Radisson hotel.
Let my people go, man. let them go, because I love them, all right?
Thank you so much.
And I love all of you watching. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye. Are you sick and tired of being told by governments and bureaucrats to keep your business closed? Well, if so, please reach out to us at iwillopen.com. That's iwillopen.com. Tell us your story, and I'll make sure the whole world knows about it.